Well, can I ask you then, do you believe that babies are born with an understanding of good versus evil, or do you believe that it was taught by human nature?
Good, very good question. I'll answer this and then Stuart, you answer it.
In this video, Cliffe Knechtle is back on campus. We're going to listen to what he has to say, and then I'm going to be jumping in, giving my thoughts. Let's do it.
They're also born with original sin, though. Which
Okay, what does that mean? My good Catholic friend, what does that mean?
It means that as a consequence of, correct me if I'm wrong, but as a consequence of Adam and Eve eating the apple, all the following children would be born with this original sin that would have been an effect of mankind previously, correct?
Okay, maybe.
And at least also the way I was brought up was
Yes.
that if you were not baptized or had your original sin reversed, you
Yep.
would not be able to make it to heaven.
Yeah, I
So
totally
isn't
disagree with
that-
that. I don't think there's any biblical basis for that.
But wouldn't original sin be a spiritual birth defect?
Good. Ooh, now I think we're onto something here. Okay, so what on earth is original sin? Original sin is simply this. I am born with a readiness to sin factor. Doesn't mean that everything I do is evil. My atheist friends do a lot of good. They've got a conscience. But all of us have sinned. Every atheist, every agnostic, every Christian, Jew, Buddhist, Hindu, we all have sinned. Part of the reason we have sinned is because we're born with a readiness to sin factor. Let me give you an example. When I was 4 years old, I was in a sandbox playing, and my friend had the audacity to hurt me. So very naturally, I took up the metal truck, and I said, "Really?" Bam! Never seen that behavior model before, but I very naturally took up the metal truck, slammed it on my playmate's head, and it wasn't pretty. I am a sinner. That's my son over there, walking this way. He used to sit on a baby chair. I would put a glass of grape juice in front of him, and I would say, "Stuart, do not knock this glass of grape juice off this tray." And with a smile from this ear to this ear, he would backhand that glass of grape juice off the tray. He was born a sinner, same way as old man, me, was born a sinner. Now what does that mean? It means we have a readiness to sin factor. But we cannot blame our sinful nature for what we do, because we still have a free will. So if I slap her, and you say, "Wait a second, Cliff, what'd you just do to her? Why'd you do it?" And I say, "Because of my sinful nature." That's a cop-out. Because I still have a will. And you see, here's the challenge. The challenge for me is to overcome my sinful nature with my will and make responsible decisions. And that's why the whole line of thinking at Texas State University, which is, I was born with this desire, therefore it's good, is a crock.
Well, can I ask you then, do you believe that babies are born with an understanding of good versus evil, or do you believe that it was taught by human nature?
Good, very good question. I'll answer this and then Stuart, you answer it. I am convinced that my little granddaughter, who is 6 months old, his daughter, has no understanding of what good and evil are. But I am convinced that when she comes of age, and I think for different people that's different, she will develop her own understanding of good and evil. Will that understanding be heavily influenced by her environment? Yes, ma'am. Will her understanding of good and evil be limited by her environment? No. Once again, smack. Sorry you're getting hit so many times today. You ask me, "Cliff, why'd you do it?" And I say to you, because I grew up in an environment that taught me that women who wear this color sweatshirt deserve to be smacked. It doesn't cut it. Because although my environment taught me that, I still have a conscience, a rational mind, and I am responsible before God to exercise that and to contradict my culture, to contradict my environment when I begin to realize my environment is wrong. Let me give you one quick example.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I played major college basketball. I was the worst guy on the team. I had good seats for every game. But I can promise you, almost, not everybody, but almost every guy who I played college basketball with had a very clear understanding of what human sexuality was all about. It was all about getting as many good-looking women into bed with them as they could. And so I had to exercise my conscience and my rational thinking. I had to ask, is that why God gave me my sexuality? To have sex with as many good-looking women as I can. And was it tempting to follow their example? I mean, that's the environment. I mean, shoot, we flew on a jet to different, played against UCLA, St. John's, NC State, Wake Forest. I mean, we were high flying. Okay, and so we all knew what we did at night. All right? So I had to make a decision. Is that the right way to live? Is that the right way to treat women? Is that the right way to express my sexuality? Or has God created my sexuality for a different reason? So I had to contradict my culture. And guess what? I've learned to respect people who contradict their culture and don't support racism. I work with some skinheads. And those skinheads grew up in a culture that said white superiority is clear. But there's some skinheads who said, no, it's wrong, and I'm not going to follow my culture.
Let's consider the issue of original sin. Cliff already gave some great analogies to consider. However, I want to expound on this a little bit more. A biblical reference for this is Romans chapter 5, verses 12. It says, therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all sinned. We all have a sinful nature, a disposition where no matter how much we try to be good or live moral lives, we will fail. But we can't overlook the connection with our sin and death. When we consider death, we are so familiar with it that we view it as normal. But death, from our Creator God's perspective, it is far from normal, because His original design for humanity was for us to live forever. So the fact that we are going to die one day, it is an indicator of our sin. Sin is the disease, death is the symptom. So I got a few analogies here. When it comes to our sin and being good and bad, think about fruit. Say you have a harvest of strawberries, but somebody comes and contaminates them all with pesticide. Some of the strawberries clearly look contaminated. They become deformed. They're decomposing. However, there are other strawberries that they're bright red and they look tasty. The question is, which group of strawberries are good? If you said neither one of them, then you're right. None of them are good because they're all contaminated and bad. The same is true with humanity. Some of us look good and have the characteristics and sometimes actions of what would appear to be good, while others, you can look at them and you can visibly see that they are bad by the way that they're living their lives and their decisions, but we've all been contaminated with sin. I got one more analogy to drive this point home. Think about artificial intelligence, an AI robot that is programmed with a code that allows it to be autonomous as long as its decisions are in agreement with the good code deep within the programming. But some malevolent programmer decides to write a separate code that overrides the good code without removing it, causing this robot to want to live according to the good code, but not being able to succeed because it can't figure out how to bypass the bad code. No matter how hard the robot tries not to do something that it shouldn't do, it always fails and it always makes mistakes. Sound familiar? That's you and me. The code is our conscience. The Bible says that the laws of God are written in our hearts and our conscience bears witness with it. Our conscience is why we innately know right from wrong, and it's always trying to direct us towards good. But the bad code, sin, is constantly overriding it, causing us to do bad. Hey, I hope you liked that video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. check out this next video that YouTube is recommending for you to watch. And remember, we all have a mind, but there's no better mind than the mind of God. Peace.